Okay, it's 1:05, and so I guess we should go ahead and get started. I'm David Paget, the chair of the UNCF CPI Faculty Student Steering Committee. Can everybody hear me okay?
I can hear you.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So today's meeting is just just to have a final wrap on the semester, or really on the year. We're wrapping the first year of the 5-year project. And so per the request of the executive management team, I met with Dr. Ford, Dr. Mosley, Dr. Qualls, and Dr. Hardy yesterday. And so there have been a few new developments that have occurred. And so I will just be sharing the new developments. And then if anyone else, if Dr. Qualls wants to make any additional statements, that's fine. So I guess the first change is that Dr. Hardy announced that he is retiring effective at the end of this year. And so he will, of course, no longer be the PI. And so Dr. Mosley is taking his place as the co-principal investigator on the grant, along with Dr. Ford. Dr. Ford is the vice president of student affairs. So that was the first major announcement. So I guess from this point forward, we'll be looking towards Dr. Mosley and Dr. Ford for the institutional leadership on the project. So that's the first announcement. The second announcement is with regard to the membership of the steering committee. And so I was informed yesterday that the those of you who are on the steering committee now may or may not be continuing to serve on the committee going into year 2. What is going to happen is the deans of college are going to recommend 2 faculty members from each college who will serve on the committee, but ultimately the final decision for who serves on the committee will be up to Dr. Mosley and Dr. Ford. So that, as far as how that process is going to occur, I'm not sure at this time. If there's going to be you have to submit an application or talk to your dean. I'm not sure how that's going to occur, but again, for those of you who have served on the committee this year, I'd like to thank you for your hard work and participation. We definitely got a lot of things done that will make the university a better place and will move the this project forward over the next 4 years. So again, as far as continuing on to year 2, the process for building the membership for this committee is will be, I guess, provided by Dr. Mosley and Dr. Ford at some point in the near future. So that's announcement number 2. I'll open up for discussion in like 2 minutes. The next thing is I did get some outstanding documents, outstanding purchase requests for the grant. So if you still have not submitted your personnel action request form for your work on this project this year as part of this committee, please let me know as soon as possible. I did get a couple yesterday, and I did submit those to Dr. Mosley. So if you were one of the people who gave a personal action request form to me, it's now in Dr. Mosley's hands, and how that moves forward from her, you probably should contact her directly, I assume. Also, there was one person that submitted a timesheet for students. So if you have any outstanding timesheet for students or travel, I don't know how travel might be handled if you want to go somewhere next year, if you went somewhere this, I don't know. Anything like that that's outstanding that you would like to charge to this grant, let me know, and then I'll inform Dr. Mosley about those things. Other than that, the discussion really centered around some of the plans for next year. I guess the main message that came from the leadership is that those of us who will continue to serve as faculty, we will have significant involvement from this point forward. Dr. Ford mentioned something about having a high touch model. In other words, those of us who are faculty have the most frequent contact with our students, and so we should be very much involved in the process outside of the teaching modules. Some ideas that came up were for release time, one course release time for those of us who are serving on the committee perhaps, and or some form of stipend. And I guess either Dr. Qualls or might want to elaborate on that perhaps. The year 2 budget has not been finalized yet, so if you have any suggestions, perhaps, I don't know, it has not been finalized. And I guess Dr. Qualls can comment on that more after I get done if she wants to. And I guess probably the number one thing that came out of the discussion yesterday is that the leadership wants us to really focus on getting our students internships. That seems to be one of the big disconnects that is occurring, is that we need to get our students internships, and that they're leaning on those of us on the faculty to be the primary entry point for recruiters for students to get internships. And also they want the faculty to have greater contact with employers, so that we will have a better idea of how to design our curriculum so that we meet employers' needs or meet employers' expectations. That's something that seems to be a great need. The College of Business was mentioned as one of the colleges that is doing a good job with that, and perhaps we should look at the College of Business as a model. So that's all I have to say. If anyone else would like to, if Dr. Qualls, do you have any comments, statements, anything you'd like to add? Oh, yeah, Dr. Qualls, you're muted if you, oh, okay.
No, I don't have any comments at this time,
Oh.
But I just want to echo Dr. Padgett's sentiments. Really appreciate the time, effort, and commitment that everyone has put forth to this particular initiative and this project, and look forward to continuing, whether or not you're serving as a member of the new configuration going forward or not. All of us are still very much so a part of this initiative because we all have contact with faculty. So looking forward to your continued input, thoughts, suggestions, and involvement in whatever role it may be going forward.
Thank you, Dr. Qualls. Oh, just one more thing. The students, is in terms of how the students who serve on the committee will be selected. From what I can understand yesterday, that will also be done through some cooperative process between the selected faculty members and the deans. So the deans will also be involved in selecting the students who will serve going forward.
Dr. Pageant, excuse me, that part is still being worked about because we want an appropriate cross-section of students who will be on the advisory committee. So there will be definitely some from the academic sector, but we also have student leaders that we want to be involved and get their input. So that process is still being worked out, but we do know that it will be it's still being ironed out.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Pauls, for the clarification. So if you've been working with students, we would like to also thank them for their participation. Some of the students have been working on this since the planning grant phase. So if anyone has anything else to say, I'm still here. Somebody's knocking on my office door, of course. It's finals week. But if anyone else has anything to add, please do so at this time. Oops. Yeah. Yes. Does anyone else have anything to any questions? See you. Dr. Johnson, Iris Johnson, do you have any questions or comments? Dr. Hines?
This is Courtney. I don't have any other questions.
I think I do have a quick question in terms of with the new faculty that will be brought on and I guess the inaugural faculty who will be cycling off. Will there be some type of, I guess, meeting of the two so that or inclusion of those of us who've already developed the modules, because we developed the modules, we'll be doing the modules. Just can you speak to that?
Oh, is that for me or Dr. Qualls?
I'm not sure. So we developed the modules and we're going to go ahead and do them, but then in terms of, testing, the beta testing, all of those plans and all of the stuff like that, what's the procedure? So maybe it's a Dr. Qualls question.
Oh, well, I can answer that part. I can answer that. I can tell you what's happened at this point. Yeah, I did. Those of you who completed draft modules, I have turned those into the executive management team. Now, as far as what's going to happen from that point forward, we probably need to be in touch with Dr. Mosley to see exactly what's going to happen next. I'm assuming that the modules will be examined and hopefully approved by the executive management team, and then those of you who are going to be piloting those modules in the courses in the spring will be approved and allowed to do so. But I guess the final word on that would come from Dr. Mosley and Dr. Ford. Another, I guess, kind of touchy question is, will your pilot period or pilot efforts be incentivized some kind of way? I have no idea. That will probably be another question for Dr. Qualls or Dr. Mosley, because the year 2 budget has not been set yet. So that would be a good time to ask how or if your piloting the modules would be incentivized using funds from the grant. Yes, so I guess I will try to get that information from Dr. Mosley as soon as possible. Did that answer your question, Dr. Johnson? Oh, okay. She said yes. Okay. So, anyone else have anything to add? I'll use the 7-second rule. I guess everybody's busy with finals. So again, if there is, that's all I had to share was the what we discussed at yesterday's meeting. Like I said, the big news is that Dr. Hardy is retiring. New leadership under Dr. Mosley and Dr. Ford, and of course Dr. Qualls is still with us. And there will be new membership on the committee that will be decided upon by the deans. How that's going to happen, I'm not sure. We'll have new students on the committee. I'm not sure. I guess that process is being developed. And you know, again, any outstanding costs, please let me know as soon as possible. PARFs, student timesheets, travel, whatever. And again, hopefully, I really hope that everyone who has been participating will continue, because I think we have a really good, cohesive group here. So again, thank you for your participation, and looking forward to everybody at the meeting yesterday is very excited about moving forward and thinks that we're on the right track now. Oh, the UNCF site visit will be, I think, February 12th to the 14th or thereabouts. So, so the UNCF will be here next year, mid-February. So I'll keep you posted on, on that. That's very important. So if there's no other questions, hi. Oh, yes, Dr. Qualls. Yes, so you're back. I was asked, do you have any final comments or updates?
No, I had a question. You mentioned that there was travel, if people had travel that they were charging to this grant or the account. Was that set up initially that were there any type of guidelines that were given that they could apply any travel to this particular grant from a steering committee and travel with this committee have done?
Yes, faculty travel was part of the, is in the narrative of the grant. I only had one person that I know of, who specifically asked me about travel, and I guess he approached Dr. Hardy with that. I don't know whether he actually went on the trip or not, but that's the only person that I'm aware of that requested travel funds from the grant. And by that time, Dr. Hardy was PI, and I just told him to make the request to Dr. Hardy. Whether or not he went, I don't know, but that's the only person that specifically. Yeah, there was definitely, the opportunity was definitely there. I think, yeah. I don't know what, in terms of well, I guess because the year 2 budget hasn't been set yet, but I'm assuming that there will be opportunities for faculty travel to attend various conferences. I know NACE is one. There might be others, depending upon the funding availability, but that's a question for Dr. Qualls and Dr. Mosley. But at least the funds were there for year 1. Thank you, Dr. Qualls. Any other questions or comments? We're just all ready to get back into the fun and thrills of grading term papers and exams, right? I'm sorry I'm taking you away from all that excitement and fun. But if no one else has anything to add, feel free to contact me afterwards offline if you like. I will keep us, this meeting is being recorded. I'll share the recording for what it's worth, or for others that were not able to attend. And if no one else has anything to say, say good afternoon and get back to grading all these term papers. Thank you very much for attending.
Thank you.